Hey, welcome guys. This is Angel. Today I wanted to speak of great routes and I wanted to explain what great routes are and how Unity can actually help with this. So near the end of the video, I will be discussing how Unity solves this, but I already made a full chart showing exactly how it works. I think it's best for anybody to know exactly how this works. That way we know what we're getting ourselves into. So I put it as simply as I possibly could. So let's go ahead and get started. So what are gray routes? So gray routes are basically um, illegal routes that middlemen, which are aggregators, take. And the problem with that is they don't really care. They'll do it just so that they can make money, regardless whether or not the message or the call goes through. Right? They still get paid regardless, but they choose the cheapest route. Sometimes those routes are not, um, they're not reliable. So let's go ahead and get started. So gray routes basically, what happens is a company will use an aggregator, which an aggregator is and I'm gonna write it down here. Aggregator is a middleman. Man. So an aggregator is a middleman. What they do is they go ahead and route for a telecom company to from a company to a carrier, and then the carrier will go to your phone. So normally, like, let's say Google or a bank sends a text message somewhere. It goes through the chain, right? The company pays the aggregator, then the aggregator pays the carrier, right? And then the carrier delivers it to your phone. So each one of these steps costs money, depending on the country, right? So that's basically the starting point. So where the problem lies here is that gray routes, they're basically cheating. So a company, this is how we can get started, right? So where the problem starts is basically the middleman realizes that sending message to certain countries is expensive. So instead of paying the full price, they cheat the system. That's what they do. That's basically what they do. So company pays the aggregator cheats the system. And the problem with that, right? It's basically companies are spending a lot of money for this type of stuff. All right, so let's discuss how they cheat. So basically, what they do is they use things like SIM boxes, right? So that's where you use hundreds of SIM cards in like one machine, like to make messages. That seems like they come from normal phones, but they really don't. They use things like fake caller ID, right? So they change their caller ID so that it looks like it comes from a low. So it looks like it comes local instead of international, basically. Um, Here, let me see if I can move it. And then one of the famous ones, they use A to P or P to P. This is basically when it's like they disguise a business message as a personal message, because usually personal messages are actually a lot cheaper than a business message. Um, so basically the message still arrives with these, right? So the message still arrives, but the carrier doesn't get paid properly. That's how they cheat. So who does it? Big carriers do not do this, right? Because they lose money if they do this. Middlemen are the ones that do it, like aggregators. They're the ones that do it. Specific companies are the that rely that some companies rely on them for that. Um, like sub aggregators, gray route providers, or sim farm operators. Those are the ones that end up doing this type of work for them. So okay, so that's basically the ones that do it. So they sit in the middle and skim profits by breaking the rules. So carriers can't really see that, and I drew a couple of eyes. Actually, let me go ahead and draw a smile here. They can't really see that. Actually, this should be downside, but the reason why they can't see that is because they have limited visibility. So the reason why is because they don't have all these phones similar to how Unity is going to distribute these phones and all these licenses that do testing. That's the reason why they cannot see it. And basically, they don't see messages. They don't never reaches their network. That's the reason why gray routes are so hard to stop. So, how does Unity solve this solution? Basically, the way Unity does it is they have phones all around the world. These phones operate through the Unity app to verify routes, right? That's how Unity can solve it. So basically, Unity changes this by using real phones around the world as verification points. These phones measure how messages calls arrive, like was it latency, origin behavior, um, you know, like when you compare thousands of millions of real results, you can tell if a route is clean or is cheating. So let's now discuss why telecom companies will pay for this. Actually, right here. Why will telecom companies pay for this type of work? I wrote down here why they would. It stops fraud, right? So gray routes cost the industry billions of dollars every year. So paying for verification is cheaper than losing revenue. So basically, they protect revenue, they're compliant, and it improves delivery for companies. Unity is a solution to tier 1 telecom companies because it allows them to have more of their revenue because now they have a fully transparent auditing system throughout the world that's cover majority of countries that most auditing companies that are centralized do not cover. So this is basically what gray routes are, right? It's a fraud system. This gray routes, they've been here since the 90s, the 2000s. Gray routes are basically just scam after scam after scam. Tier 1 companies, tier 1 telecom companies lose billions of dollars because of these scammers. Unity would change that. And I want to be the first to say, and I want this to be recorded, I want to be the first to say that Unity will change the way auditing works in telecommunication. This has never been done before. No other company has 79 countries, 650 cities, worldwide coverage. Unity is the first. Why don't they have it? Because it's too expensive for them. They cannot distribute that many devices. They need billions of dollars for that, millions of dollars for that. Unity has done it through the sharing economy. They have done it through community. Thousands of people believe what Unity will bring. And there's a saying that says that where there's value, fraud will follow. And telecommunication has value. Unity would change the way this auditing system works. Telecom companies haven't been able to solve something like this because they're dinosaurs. They're old legacy systems that do not want to change because they're comfortable the way they are. But I don't believe it's because they like it. I believe it's because of fear. A lot of them are scared to change. They're scared of new innovations, so they keep it traditional. Unity changes that. World Mobile changes that. Minutes Network changes that because they come back to the community. They make everything very fully transparent and distribute it. So before I go, I want to finish it with one thing. So in general, gray routes are how telecommunication middlemen cheat the system. And Unity exists to prove with real data whether a message took a legitimate path or not. That's basically what Unity will do to gray routes. So I just want to say thank you for anybody that's seen this video. If you guys have any questions, please write them down in the comment section. I've been digging into the rabbit hole of telecommunication, and the more I dig into it, the more I realize that if the team can deliver this application, this software, and they can do it right, I do believe that we are sitting in a gold mine if this works for fraud and detection and full transparency for auditing for a network. And I do believe companies will find this very valuable. No other company, like I said, no other company has 79 countries, 650 plus cities. So that's all I have to say, but thanks for watching. Goodbye.